Okay, welcome back. So today we are going to talk about what is a break of structure. It's also known as change of character. Okay, you can use either term, it's the same thing. So as you know, for example, price moves in trends. So right now here we have a little bearish trend. So what is a break of structure? Break of structure essentially means that liquidity has been swept at some point. For example, here we have one low and then the price went under that low. Okay, so now how do we know that we have swept liquidity? How can we confirm that? By price closing above the most recent high in our case. Okay, so look, here we have our most recent high. So now that the price body closed above it, what do we know? We can confirm that we have swept liquidity here. Okay, so this is basically break of structure. Break of structure tells you, or should I say confirms you, that liquidity has been swept and we have entered into a new trend because of that. So, okay, sorry for this. So here we were in a bearish trend. Now by breaking structure to the upside, we are now entering into a bullish trend. And then the price will retrace, go higher and higher and higher. So what will then happen from bullish trend to the bearish trend? How can this change happen? For example, by sweeping liquidity. Okay, we pushed the price up. We swept liquidity here. How can we confirm that we have swept liquidity? By closing below the most recent low. So here is the most recent low. Once we body close below that, for example, boom, we body closed below it. Okay, now we have confirmed that this right now here was a liquidity sweep. So now we entered from bullish market from bullish trend into the bearish one. And then so on and so on and so on and so on. So what do we actually need for break of structure? We need the most recent high so that the price can close above it in terms of changing the trend from the bearish one to the bullish one. Or if we have the most recent low, then the price closes below it, okay? So that then we change the trend from the bullish one into the bearish one. So how do we recognize what is a trend? What is a high? It's a move up and a move down. So it's green candle and then a red candle. Or low is a move down and a move up. So it's a red candle and then green candle. It's that simple, okay? So now let's go into the charts. Let's choose one random asset. Let's see what we have. Let's choose one Forex. Let's go euro against Australian dollar. Let's go to that one. Let's go to 1 hour chart. Let's hide all of the indicators. And let us now try to identify breaks of structure, okay? For example, let's start right now here. As you can see, we are here in a relatively bullish trend. So here we have the most recent low. Okay, I'm gonna put it a little bit thicker, okay, the line. So here we have the most recent low. It's a move down and a move up. Let me zoom it a little bit. We have move down and a move up. That's the most recent low. And then the price body closed below the most recent low, okay? So this was a break of structure. So now we went from bullish trend into a bearish one. So now that we are in a bearish trend, we have to wait for price to close above the most recent high so that we change the trend from bearish trend into the bullish trend, okay? So now let's just follow the highs and then let's see when does that happen. So here we have the high, nothing happens. Here is a high, 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 high. Okay, here is one high. Okay, here is the last high before the price body closed above it. So now that we body closed above the most recent high, now we entered into a bullish trend. we change the direction from the bearish one into a bullish one. So why don't I consider this high, even though this high is higher than this one? Why don't I consider this one? Because this one is not the most recent high. This was the most recent high, okay? And now that we body closed above it, we changed the direction from a bearish market to the bullish market, and from the bearish trend to bullish trend. So how do we now know when are we going to change the direction from bullish market, from bullish trend to a bearish one? We will know that once we body close below the most recent low, okay? So now our most recent low at this point was here. Then we have another low here, another low here, another low here, another low here, okay? Here we have the last low, okay? And we body closed below it. So now we went from so-called bullish trend into a bearish one, okay? Because we body closed below it. So now, in order for us to change the trend from this mini bearish trend to a bullish trend, we have to now look at the highs. We have the high, we have the high, and then we body close with this huge ass candle above that high. So now we change the direction from bearish to the bullish trend. And now, how do we know when are we going to change the direction back into the bearish trend? By monitoring the lows. Here we have one low, and here we have another low, and we body close below it. What does that mean? That means that we are now in a bearish trend. But that bearish trend was so short because then we body closed above the most recent high again, which means we entered into a bullish market, bullish trend again, okay? So now we monitor the lows, and let's take a look, when do we enter into a bearish trend again? Okay, so here we have the low, the low, the low. Look, even though we wicked through that low, okay, even though we wicked through the low here, through the line, that doesn't change the trend. We have to body close below the line, okay? So where do we do it? Where do we do it? Okay, we do it with this candle. So now we are in a bearish trend. So when are we going to know when we entered into a bullish trend? By closing above the highs, by body closing, okay? So here we have high, high, high. Okay, in this case, you see when we have like a up candle and then a little unidentified candle and then a low candle, down candle, you just consider this as a connector between those two candles, okay? So you can consider this one actually as a bullish candle. Okay, so here we have the high, here we have the high. Look, we wicked through the line, but we didn't close above it, okay? So this is now the new high. And then this is now the new high. And you can see with this little candle right now here, we closed above that high. So now we are in a bullish trend. So now how do we know when do we change the direction into a bearish trend? By monitoring the lows again, okay? So we have a low, we have a low, we have a low, and we body close below that low. So now we are in a bearish trend. When is the bullish trend again? High, high, okay. And then here we body close above it. Here we body close above it. So now we are in a bearish trend. When do we know, in a bullish trend, when do we enter into a bearish one? By monitoring the lows. You see? So it's that simple, okay? So what do you actually need? Okay, sorry, I had a little lag. So yeah, what I wanted to tell you is essentially break of structure is when you have a trend and then you take a look at the most recent high, for example, in our bearish trend, and then you just wait that the price closes, okay, body closes above that most recent high, and then that's a break of structure, okay? So in this case, we would have a bullish break of structure here. And then the same thing would happen also with bearish break of structure. For example, we go up and then we body close below the most recent low. Okay, so here we have body closure. Okay, and then that changes this into a bearish trend. Okay, this is a bearish break of structure. It's that simple. Okay, as you could see here, for example, let's try to find one more example. So here we closed above the most recent high. Okay, so here we have a high, then we body closed above it. So that means that this is now a break of structure. We entered into a bullish market, okay, I mean into a bullish trend, sorry. So now we are still, as I can see, we are still in bullish trend, except here. So here we have the most recent low, and then we body closed below it. So now this is actually now a bearish trend. This is the beginning of a bearish trend, okay? So that's about it. It's that simple. So now I invite you to join my Discord server. It's for free. I'm writing now the daily bias for today. Then we have trading breakdowns. As you can see here, we have also self-improvement content here. Basically everything that we need to become better traders and stronger men. And yeah, also subscribe to my YouTube channel. We do a lot of trading here, a lot of trading recaps, strategies, everything. So yeah, that's about it, bro. Do the hard work and see you on top of the world.